It didn't start from nowhere. It started from when we grew up. We have been annoying the shit out of each other our whole life.
I went into it not wanting this. I've never been in the entertainment industry. It was always a hobby. I enjoyed watching videos, but I would always analyse them and think what could have been better.
For some reason, there's a natural entertainer in us.
Appreciate. I never know what's going to come out of your mouth.
We're chaos that brings you joy.
You always say you don't want to do stuff with me.
I don't.
Turn his mic down.
We're only 50% of why we are where we are. The other 50% is, our audience.
Hello guys, I'm Heen.
And I'm Matt.
And welcome to the RØDE Video Podcast, where we meet the podcasters, filmmakers, content creators, and recording artists making moves in the creator economy.
Joining us today, we have the hilarious Australian brothers and content creators turned global superstars turned podcasters, Luke and Scott.
AKA Luke and Sassy Scott. Welcome, guys.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Boys.
Thanks for having me and letting me bring my brother.
Yes.
I still really feel like when we were growing up, Mum would go, take Luke to the party, please. I still feel like no matter where I go, I'm still bringing my little brother because Mum's like, please take him, get him out of the house. He needs to make some friends.
Nothing's changed.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
I'm
and
about to
here he is.
unleash on you.
Sorry, you've got the whole next hour to do that.
Done.
Yeah, go for it.
Boys, for anyone who's not familiar with what you do, which kind of have to be living under a rock at this point, can you just give us a little elevator pitch into a little rundown?
How's your
into
resume
what you
looking,
guys
Scott?
do?
I say elevator pitch because it's just easier to just go, we're chaos that brings you joy. That's what we've just learned. It doesn't always bring us joy, but our chaos does bring other people joy for some odd reason.
But you'll see us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. We've got a podcast. That's Luke and Sassy Scott podcast. What else have we done, Scott?
There's some TV. We've got some there's good
We
shows.
did a live tour. We're being very fortunate
You are selling
that
us.
this has given us a great opportunity to sort of run with what we want to do.
Luke's always like, we've got to be humble, and he just reeled off our whole CV like that. Okay.
Well, Heen and Matt look so professional in front of Matt.
really do.
Matching
Sitting up
different
straight.
opposites. The Amazing Race TV, that was incredible. What was that like?
We do a travel series with Jetstar Australia. We've gone into our 4th year now with them, and it started from where our audience picked a destination for us to go to, and then they would vote on what they wanted our itinerary to be, which was absolutely wild, fun. We found ourselves in corners of the world and the country doing, I'm going to share one of my most favourite ones. And it's like either go out into the Great Barrier Reef and swim with, tiger sharks in Hawaii, like really cool stuff. But then you get a really odd request that would come through. And for example, one time it was, go to this pub in the middle of Alice Springs or in the Northern Territory, find my brother. It's his 40th birthday. His name's David. Find him and sing happy birthday. So Luke and I are like, game on. This is what we're going to do. We're going out into the middle of the country to find a guy at a bar to sing happy birthday to him. So we rock up. We're like asking people, do you know David? And they're like, yeah, what are you guys doing here kind of thing. It's weird. And then they're like, that's him. This guy was like the most straightest, I was like, oh God, this is going to be a tough crowd, right?
I remember, I'm normally good at recording everything. I've stopped the recording halfway through the singing because I'm like,
so
this
awkward.
is awful.
So I go, excuse me, David? And this guy turns around and he's like, yes. And I went, happy birthday to you. And the whole bar, everyone just stops and is like, what is going on? Luke's backing off, like, I'm out of here. Fast forward years later.
I don't know if you would remember this part.
We were in, I think it was Airlie Beach, doing another gig for Jetstar.
Yeah.
And we hear someone screaming, Luke, Sassy Scott. And we're like, run, right? Anyway, we stop and chat to this girl and she goes, you won't remember me. She goes, however, I sent a request for you to go and find my brother and sing happy birthday to him. She said he was estranged from my family, and this always makes me upset. He was estranged from our family for so long. Yeah. And after you did that, he messaged our mum and now he's back in our lives.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
And we were there it is.
Made it worth it.
There's the purpose. Mm-hmm. So we were doing a travel series ourselves on our own content before The Amazing Race came up. Yeah. And we were like, we're ready to do this. Everybody wrote us off the show. They're like, you guys are going to just scream and fight and not get along. And we soon figured out
that was our strength.
Our superpower is we communicate as we move through things. So we don't ever leave a stone unturned with each other. we've said everything we think about one another to each other, and we can keep moving forward.
If I'm seeing Scott making a mistake, you're straight away going, what are you doing? Like, do it like this. Whereas you're seeing the other teams and it was like, they're just letting them go and you're like, oh, they're failing.
With their child, their best friend, their partner, someone they haven't gone to the end of the earth with and don't know how to say you're going too far, stop, do it differently. Whereas we're happy to do that with
Travel brings that out in people as well. You know, best of times, worst of times. And also you guys, because you fight so much, you probably have developed like a fighting style with each other and you know each other so well in that space. So it's like, oh, easy, we got this.
We found we had a moment where we realised we were a team and we had to work together. And there was a couple of really pinnacle moments throughout that where we clocked what our role was, and it was a bit different this time versus what we're used to doing. And so working together and digging deep was a hidden, not superpower that we found, but a hidden maybe tool that we had in our belt that we had never used before that actually, when push comes to shove, we can like team up together.
Yeah,
because it would be the difference between getting kicked off the show or not.
My earring's really annoying me, tech desk, so I'm taking it out because I know these microphones are the best in the business and you'll be picking it up.
It looks fab, but he's not wrong.
What is it that started all of your online presence? Like you've gone so far that you're doing Amazing Race and you've got all of these platforms that you do. Where did that actually start from? Where did that inspiration come from? What made you want to start posting content?
That probably falls on my shoulders, that one. During COVID, probably a lot know this story, but I was kicked out of the rental I was living in and I moved into Scott's house, and it was during that time where I just started taking the piss. I had nothing to lose. TikTok was new. So I just started posting the videos and like it was pretty much overnight. Yeah. They started blowing up. And
I remember when you guys first came up on my feed, 2021.
Yeah.
Right? 2020, around that.
Yeah, that's when I started seeing it.
And it's more so as time's gone by, I've realised it's not normal. It's not normal for every video to get over 1 million views. And I think we had our first 160 videos all got over 1 million views overnight. And if it wasn't on 1 million views in 3 hours, it was a fail.
Yeah.
That's how I was going by success or not.
And it was like, and we've shared this before, but I have an ego, right? And Luke was like to me, oh, Scott, you know, we're blowing up on TikTok. I'm like, right? Like I was like, whatever. And I put it in my words and my language, but Luke's like, we're kind of a big deal. And I'm like, I'm a big deal everywhere. Had no real concept or grasp of what was actually happening on social media.
And it wasn't something we were seeking. We weren't seeking a career. I was a radiographer. You were a GM at a...
Yeah, I was working in marketing, events, advertising. Yeah. And then, this is no lie, people were like, yo, Sassy, like stopping real big like energy out on the street. No matter where I went, people like coffees on me and I'm like, the is going on? And then one day Luke called out, like he goes, we're at 1 million followers. And I was like, and this was maybe in like 3 months or something. And I was like, what is...
You still hadn't even downloaded TikTok.
Yeah, I still didn't really have it. I didn't care for it.
You didn't even know really what it's about, how it worked.
No.
Yeah.
And then the rest, and then the domino effect kind of happened and you know, here we are.
You sort of started from nowhere and then you got to the point where you have like Selena Gomez following you. What is that feeling like when you have these massive celebrities knowing who you are?
There's two parts to that. It didn't start from nowhere. It started from when we grew up. We have been annoying the shit out of each other and our other two brothers our whole life. We used to film it. We used to make content. For some reason, there's a natural entertainer in us, like to want to try and work a room, right? Like it's who we are.
Yeah.
Our parents were like that. They're always listening to ABBA and had friends over and whatever, right? So that's kind of part of who we are. We've always been doing it. Mm-hmm. And then the second part, the A-list celebs.
It's weird.
Yeah.
We don't get it.
No,
it's very odd, and probably the longer we're in it, the more we're spoken to them and met them and speaking to them, their feed is just like your feed. Like we're getting fed to, it doesn't matter who the person is.
But the truth we do say, and these we'll give you the insight. Well, firstly, we say it says more about them. We don't think it says anything about us. We think if these people like what they're seeing and they relate to us in some way. We probably, something we've said or done or how we interact reminds them of them and their sibling or their family growing up. And in the world that they're in now, it's probably so far removed. So there's this nice reminder, relatability. So we say, it says that their family was probably up, right? Like the big ones that follow us, we're like, they come from a cooked home. That's what we know, right? And then the other weirdness of it all is they are, and I know a lot of people won't want to hear this, just like us. And we feel privileged that they've taken us under their wings. They let us behind their closed doors. They invite us over for barbecues and stuff. And it's like we walk out and we're like, the just happened there, right? But the whole time it felt, and I think this is comfortable, right? Like it felt like this. So you're just like, they're just people at the end of the day.
And a lot just want to help. So some have been very supportive. My team's your team. And it's very confusing.
So nice. Yeah.
And dare I say, that's where we're getting new pillars in what we're doing, moving into other areas of entertainment based on a lot of those relationships.
Yeah, they take us under their wing and, I think it's kind of that's a bit of an American thing.
You need a tour bus? We got one.
Yeah, they're like, you guys need some solicitors? We have a whole team. And you're like, okay, let's go. I do want them to read a contract. We're doing a RØDE interview soon.
So you guys still have those pinch me moments where it's like, we get to do this as a career. A lot of people want this, but how do you guys feel about it?
I think you kind of touched it there. I went into it not wanting this. Like I've never been in the entertainment industry. I didn't really understand it. It was always a hobby. I enjoyed watching videos, but I would always analyze them and think what could have been better.
Yeah.
So that's where I've come into it and do all the editing and a bit strategic in that way.
So you've already got that mind though.
Yeah.
You just didn't realize that could be a career. That could be a thing.
And I was a radiographer for 7 years, studied for 7 years. So then when we moved into it, now it's a career full time that has its ups and downs.
And the pinch me moments, I remember one day Luke and I had 6 things happen in one day. And this is the worst thing about this story that I tell is I can't remember any one of them, right? But the
mailman came. What else were they? A really big car broke down.
No.
I'm joking.
Oh, see. Comedic timing is so off sometimes. And we clocked by the 6th one, any one of these is just so magnificent, like huge. And we've just had 6 of them kind of back to back to back in one day. And it was like getting a TV development deal with Sony US, right? Like it was like these huge things all happening one day. And we just went, none of this is normal. And sure, you find yourself where you put yourself, but we were like, the hell is going on? And now,
but it was one of the first times we ever, I remember the day too, I can't remember what it was.
See, but remember what they were.
But it was, we don't do that often. It wasn't stand back, look what's happened today, look what's happened over the last month. A reflective thing, dare I say, a lot of people in the industry, you keep wanting to succeed or get bigger, but it was there where we actually stood back and went, something's happening.
Yeah, and it was like, and it's shocking and it's cool and it's overwhelming, and you realize the longer you're in it, the more you just not expect it to be happening to you, right? But it's like, it does happen because it's your job and your career and you're hustling your butt off to make things happen. But it's still a very privileged world that we get to live in. It's our reality, but it's not the world's reality. So we have to always check each other. And you're kind of lucky with your brother in the room, they check you, right? So we can't ever really get too far ahead of ourselves because we've got the other one next to us.
That dynamic that you have with each other, was there a point where you realized, that is the product, that is what people love?
We realize it's been a bit hard, I don't want to say imposter syndrome because that didn't happen for us. And I guess that probably happens for people that are by themselves going through it, right? Like we have each other to check one another, but we didn't know that this is currency. We thought the numbers and the engagement was the currency. And then management and really good special people, industry, heads, whatnot, would say what you guys kind of have actually together, whether it's happening on our phone or not, it translates in person, translates in all rooms and corners of the world. And that's taken a long time, but I think only now we're starting to go like, all right, maybe it's not just we know how to make a good 1 minute video, right? Like but we've wanted to do things the right way too, like doing a podcast and opening ourselves up a bit more, doing a national tour where we wrote the show with respected comedians because we're like, we don't want to be those losers that think they can, because they're big online, they can just come in and sell out a tour.
Yeah.
So we want to do things the right way and earn the stripes and the respect from the industry. But yeah, the currency to what we have, we're only starting to probably understand that that's the power.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't know how to answer that question. It still doesn't feel, I don't know, the grasp of us being the product rather than the content we're making.
Yeah.
Because
like
it's basically don't change anything you're doing. Just do what you're doing, right? Like no notes, 10 out of 10.
Notes. And dare I say that's why.
Which, trust me, there's notes all day long.
But you are also being yourselves. It's not like you're just putting on these personas for the sake of the videos and sort of pretending this brother relationship. It is just your relationship.
Yeah.
That's probably the big one in it. You probably just hit it there. Like it's not skit based. We're not playing a character that it is easier to translate in real life. We see people who recognize us from our videos. We're going to have a chat to them and they're like, oh, you are what you are on
people are always really confused. They're like, oh my God. And for me, it's usually like, I thought you were going to slap me when I met you in real life or something. Like people kind of are confused thinking that I'm going to flip a table when they meet me.
That parasocial relationship.
Just make his coffee a bit hot.
Yeah, true. Like my coffee up.
He still can.
So now your podcast that you've started, tell us how that started. Why did you start that? And then also it looks like at some point you started video. Did you have video the whole time?
Nope.
I think 113 episodes is when you started doing.
Close, yes. Yep.
Around there is when you started doing video.
Yes.
So why did you start the podcast and then why did you start doing video after 100-something episodes?
The podcast came at a time where our content, we were feeding from 10 seconds to a minute clips to people that we couldn't really, if we were going to be in this industry, wanted to talk a little bit longer, give a little bit of ourselves, see if people could resonate with that, not just a popping off video that lasted for a short period of time. So we discussed with the podcast, we were with a listener in Melbourne and we had a meeting with them to even talk about if we should even start a podcast. Would people listen to it? Would we have backing? And I remember having that meeting and they put numbers to us. If we can hit these numbers in 6 weeks, then we'll see if we should negotiate something and keep you on. And when we put the first episode out, we hit those numbers in the first 12 hours, I think it was.
Wow.
Of what they wanted us to do in 6 weeks.
That's
we did
amazing.
In the first, first day.
Did you expect that? Were you kind of like, oh, will our audience follow us over?
I thought the numbers they put forward, I was like, that's pretty low.
Yeah, we're like, hang on. Did we expect it?
No.
No, we didn't expect it. However, do we love a goal? Yes.
But the hardest thing that I've realised in this industry is pushing people from one platform to another.
Conversion.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and it's a bit of a slow build and we got a lot of professional development done in that contract. We learnt a lot about this industry, how to speak, how to listen to one another.
To show up, be like set to times again. Like we come from our 9-to-5 jobs and it felt like it was the part of our careers again where we had to go certain times to planning, to recording.
It was really good and we showed up and it was 2 years and then there were things that we knew the market and the industry was asking for, that our audience wanted, that we could no longer do where we were. And I think the fascinating thing was we should do this ourselves then. It doesn't seem like there's any other way to do it. And again, we are fortunately supported and guided by people in the States. And, in Hollywood, they get it, right? Mm-hmm. And so we went, hang on, if they're doing it over there and the data's telling us that people are now...
well, we went looking at our favourite podcasts and a majority were American and the one thing they had in common was you could watch them all.
Mm.
And then there was data coming out of, how many people that listen to a podcast who are audio or who are visual, how they take it in. And I was like, we are just losing a whole group of people if we're not doing it this way. So then we went, let's produce it. And next second, we found ourselves creating content. What blows my mind now is people say, oh, on a Wednesday night, I watch my favorite show and it's our podcast. I'm like, you need better shows or something, right? It blows my mind that people watch our show as a show. Yeah. The way we used to watch Home and Away or Neighbours, right? They watch our podcast.
Yeah, it's become a show kind of platform now.
blows my
I know.
mind.
Yeah. It's a modern day show, talk
Yes.
show. It's a new way of doing it.
Yeah, of receiving content. And so that's the one thing that we really wanted to do, to make sure that we were considering everybody could receive us, you know, the way that
And
they
even the
need it.
platforms are allowing for it now, so people can watch it on Spotify and
Yes.
YouTube. So when we were first starting, there were no videos on Spotify for a podcast. So now you feel like that's where the market's going. You want to be one of the first doing it. You don't want to be going, I should have done it 2 years ago. So we wanted to make sure we did it.
How do you go about getting guests on? You've had your family recently on.
Yeah.
We always had a rule. We never wanted guests.
Yeah.
It was always, we wanted to see if we could do it without.
On our own back.
Yeah.
Not on the back of others.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And now we're like, all right, we did that. Now let's get the
Yeah,
famous
now we
people
just
on.
want guests. I can't be bothered thinking of content. Let's just have someone on.
Yeah, let's call so-and-so. So the people that we like to hero are family members, not our own family members, but like people like that are like, you know, aunties and uncles and that are listeners. They're the people we prefer to hero on the podcast.
And we still haven't perfected, if we have celebrity guests on, like what's our point of difference still to just watching them in another interview that was a year or 2 years ago. Like what is that thing you're doing different with them?
Yeah.
And I see, I don't know, someone big will be in an interview. Well, I go and watch it or listen to it. I'm like, I don't know if the audience is that interested in celebrity interviews all the time.
Yeah. So, but we find that, you know, like our Auntie Sharon, if we bring her on to tell a story, the amount of comments we'll get about that is far more than when we've had like called up a celeb mate. That doesn't get the engagement, but like the most relatable people are the ones that like, I guess, resonate the most when we chat to them.
Because I think that's what drew your audience to you both in the first place, like relatability. So then, therefore, that's going to circle back to what you do next. They still want that from you.
Yes.
So,
And that's why we try and like, you know, in, I guess, the boundaries and then even bringing family in, you know, what's been really tough is we want to share stuff about our family, but then in that there's complications. So we have to try and consider that person, but we want to highlight that person and how we're going to do that in our own tone and way, and then not cause a like, you know, a smack on at our family barbecue, right? So we are really cautious.
It hasn't happened yet. So maybe we should
punch on at
stop
the
being so
Barbie?
cautious. Yeah.
We'll see. But the funny is, you know, this is only happening right now, but our mum and dad are wonderful people, right? Really supportive of us. And they've been in some ads that we've done recently.
great.
And it's
What do you
'cause
guys
it
think of that?
happened really easily and naturally, right? Like one brand was like, hey, can we do a makeover of your room? And I'm like, no, I'm good. And they're like, of Luke's. And he was like, oh, I've recently done mine. And they're like, what about your mum and dad? I'm like, great idea. Let's make over mum and dad. Yeah, right. And which again is privilege. We get that, right?
But a lot of brands have worked with them now, though. They've had
great.
They've had like,
Kosa,
they've had a
Jetstar
Kosa.
Fiji.
They
They've
had
David Beckham's cologne for dad.
David Beckham
David
sponsored
Beckham
by Dad,
Becks.
right?
L'Oreal, they had the
The Revitalift.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
like,
do
keep
you
it
guys got to buy bags like our parents do? They're like, would they want to do an ad?
And
Send it to our parents. They'll
and
take
in
it.
that, we made videos. Mum and Dad were like, sure, we'd love to help and do it. And then we were like, this is the opposite to child exploitation.
I was like, Scott, if we were using your kids in our ads, you would be going wild asking for a cut. I'm like, we need to start paying
So I was like, Mum and Dad, you need an ABN. We're going to start paying you. So this month, they're getting their first paycheck of working with us. And there's something nice in that because
Yeah.
Like, that's odd. It's a
That's
weird
odd,
thing,
but
right?
a
Paying your
great
parents,
thing. It's
yeah.
modern.
it means
It's very
we can
modern.
keep using them.
Until they start going, oh, like, I need a pay rise.
You watch.
Oh,
What do you get to say or explore now through the podcast that you couldn't before?
we try to keep it light and comedic and very, we want to resonate with people and go back to their childhoods. That's probably our biggest
Yeah,
message.
sense of nostalgia.
However, every now and then there will be a topic that it's like, no, we've got a platform. Let's talk about something a little bit other than family nostalgia.
I've never mixed my words. I might stutter every now and then, but like I'm really passionate about, you know, like my values are really like clear to me, and I'm really passionate about, you know, some topics locally or globally, and I think I take it as my responsibility. No, I don't put it on Luke.
But we have had conversations about this a lot of the time where Scott will be speaking out about something, and I even see other creators when they're getting called out why they're not speaking about it. not everyone has the ability to articulate their wording, and the fear of not being able to articulate and being called out for that can be a proper fear. And I didn't come into the industry thinking I was going to be preaching on topics that I don't think I should be preaching about. But we do, and we can have our say. So a lot of the time I'll give the platform to Scott.
Yeah, and I'm really, I know that Luke is uncomfortable sometimes, going after the CEO of one of the largest sporting organisations, right? And using our platform to really call, systemic homophobia out, right? Yeah. And being very clear with what we're going to say. And I know what comes with that. We're very aware when we're about to do something like that, the onslaught is going to be brutal. But I'm not saying it to those people. I'm saying it to the people that are silent and need to hear somebody having their back, right? And I'm really lucky that Luke lets me. Like, I'm a wild child. I know that, right? And I do take advice from everyone all the time of when to and how to. But when I'm really clear that something needs to be said or done, they can clock it too and go, hang on, no, let's let him use the platform for good now. And I think it's my responsibility. Like, I think, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, women of colour, LGBTQIA plus people, like, they need, people to have their backs every day, any day, in every corner of the world. And for some odd reason, I've got a big mouth, I can use my words, and you've got
a lot of empathy.
A really good one too.
You're using your empathy for good, and your platform
Yeah.
and your voice. It's, it's an honourable thing to do. I think it's great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. How do you know when a piece of content, a video is good? When to put it out and when to maybe say, let's keep this one hidden?
When we were first starting up, I was very strategic with the videos. I would have a bank, any one guy would have 20 ready to post when we were first starting up. I'd have them already, and you would know which ones would perform well.
Yeah.
And then I would play with the algorithm. You got to have a little bit of fun with it. So if the one didn't perform well, I'll go, the next one has to be the biggest one I had in the 20. So you used to play around with it. You'd watch a video die out before the next one would go up. You would know which ones. I would do the editing, so I felt like I always had the hat on for the viewer. I would put in only what, if I was someone who liked our content, would want to see. And if it didn't spark joy, that little clip, it was out. No one knew it was there.
And
So if you clip it out, they don't know any better.
Yeah.
So make the video shorter.
So many videos that people still say, oh my God, can I tell you my favourite one? I'm like, sure. And they'll say a video to me and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember it. I can't recall it because there's been so many. And the pro in that is, what I take from that is people like us for being us. And it wasn't one video where we striked our luck. It's a multitude of years of content that we've been able to put out that people are like, I liked when you did that. Another person likes that one. So they're kind of like, there's a bit of a reassurance that we belong doing what we're doing because people have liked a whole array of it.
Yeah.
And the truth is, we had to do the work because Luke and followers would write in prank ideas to him. I was so gaslit that I would be getting ready after the shower, doing my hair to go to dinner, and I would go, hang on, Luke's invited me to dinner. Maybe there isn't a dinner. Maybe there isn't a car coming to get me, right? And it was just this constant place of paranoia. And then something would happen, and I'd be like, is there a snake in the bin? And Luke would be like, just open the bin. And I'd be like, and he's like, just put it in the rubbish. I'm like, is there a snake in there? And so we started to learn that, hang on, it wasn't actually natural anymore for Luke to be playing pranks on me, right? Because I started to really look for it.
Affect you in everyday life.
Yes.
And then, Luke, what if something actually was happening and Scott's like, shut up. You're
Well,
like,
that happened a lot. There'd be so many times I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Like when we got invited out to America with Selena Gomez, I remember calling Scott going, Selena wants us to come out and hang in 2 days. And he was like, haha, piss off. Like,
Yeah, because you did the thing.
He's like, you're recording this. Like, you get clever. Like, this is so lame. And I'm like, no, it's real. I'll send you a screenshot. He's like, you're good with Photoshop. I'm like, oh.
Because didn't you do a prank where she unfollowed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that video goes on other platforms. So like on Facebook and Instagram, they're like, she's not following. I'm like, it's on TikTok.
Yeah, dude.
Can't respond to them all.
Yeah.
So when something like does take off, you're saying you had like 20 there. Does it surprise you at all? Or are you just like, I knew this was going to do well?
No, our biggest video was never meant to be a video. That was just I put it out as Instagram stories. And it was, if you recall it or not, me putting a toilet brush in the dishwasher. And I just put it for a story because I'm like, I don't think it's worthy to be a video, but I'll just pop it there and see how it goes. And I'd never had that much engagement in a story before. I was like, I may as well just pop it on as a video. And then that got to over 50 mil on TikTok alone. And so
outrage.
So to your question, you can be wrong. Like you think you still know it, but you don't. And probably the easiest, I don't even know how to answer it because I was wrong in that time. And I was really wrong that I could have potentially never uploaded it.
Yeah.
Have you ever disagreed on something that you wanted to post, that one of you wanted to post and the other one didn't? How do you navigate that discussion?
Sometimes it can be little things, and I don't know what it is. Like, it's a sense with me that I might say, I don't like that you can see my neighbour's house in the background. And I feel that I'm trying to respect their privacy a little bit, right? Or sometimes it can be a tiny consideration like that. And Luke's like, oh, well, you should have told me, right? And it's like when we're doing some stupid thing out the front with a hose or whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not comfortable with it. Something's telling me we shouldn't. They can be really obvious.
Probably the best way of looking at it, sometimes it's better not to get approval because
you open
the
that
engagement, if Scott sees a video or a photo's done well, he'll kind of look past. I'm just thinking this now. Like say a photo, if I ask Scott which photo to upload, it's a nightmare picking which one we're going to upload. But if I just did it and then it got some pretty good engagement, he's like, oh yeah, the photo did well. Yeah, like how good was that?
And so we do. But I find that, call that curation, right? Like we are not just one-sided. We are considered in and considering other people all the time and maybe how somebody might receive something. And that was like the pranks died because it was like the audience is smart. So am I. I feel you're pranking me all the time. So we're going to change what we're doing and how we're doing it. We have to evolve with it versus people just going, surely he knows there was a camera there. And towards the end I did. So it was like, now we need a like, I'm not saying pivot. So we curate the content now. Luke is right in saying, don't share it with me. But then, I have children now. Then there's also when you kind of blow up, you do want a bit of privacy in some areas of your life as well. So
how have you gone drawing those boundaries with, private life and even family, friends? Scott, you're now a dad.
Yeah.
It can feel at times you don't have colleagues. Like I've come from working in a hospital where you had colleagues every day. You would walk in, you'd bounce ideas off, you'd see someone's down or up. But in this, it can be quite isolating. Where it does, from an outsider, it does not look isolating. Like it looks like you could be at events all the time. You post one minute video and it's like, oh, look at them. That's all they're doing today. But you still have a life. But what friends and family think of probably what you're going through is very different to what it actually is.
I feel really privileged of how beautiful everyone is that we get to meet. And my husband says all the time, when I met Scott, I used to say he's a rock star in his own world. And then Marcus says it really beautifully now. It's like the world just woke up one day and realized, oh, hang on, maybe he is. Now, I'm not comparing myself to a rock star, right? I'm not. But there was this shift in the way I used to engage with people was I was really open to everyone.
You are.
And then this happened that now my openness has allowed so many more people to come in, right? And by doing that, I feel like I'm tasked with I feel a responsibility because I say to Luke, we're only 50% of why we are where we are. The other 50% is, our audience, right? So we meet them at the line and, we hear stories that break my heart a lot of the time. People that are really going through really hard times and you were able to bring joy or light to their life. And that can be overwhelming, right? And I'm empathetic to most people except him probably. And, I find that a privilege but also a role that sure I'm prepared for, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that I was given the tools to manage it, and we try our best. We work with people, we get advice, we have a coach, all of this stuff, because when, 20 people tell you about, when they talk about, losing a brother and you bring joy to them, or losing their wife, or we're ambassadors to the Royal Children's Hospital, like Good Friday Appeal, we are exposing ourselves to hardship. Those people are being exposed to joy. So we have to find this compromise of how much of yourself you give and or you allow people to take as well.
But also who we put in our content. Like, I don't mind negative comments coming our way. Like, it's engagement. Like, I love the analytics, like whatever. But as soon as you start opening up other people into your content, they haven't asked for it as much as they think. Like, put me in a video, and I'm like, oh.
They'll destroy you. Like, you don't have the skin.
And it's happened a few times where I've just decided not to post the video, and without telling them why I didn't post it, just purely based on I'm scared of what that sort of can do to other people.
And boundaries, one, what's his name from the UK? Looked after us from the start.
Daz Black.
Daz Black reached out at the very start, like the Osbournes did. Like, there were some pinnacle people at the very start, like in the first 4 months, that all went, watch guys, like FYI, if you need anything or this is going to happen, and, you know, really, really guided us, that are still prominent in our world now. Daz Black said one day, we called him, we're like, someone wants to manage us, what should we do, kind of thing, right? And he said, you need to figure out your personal boundaries. He said, I'm going to share something with you that you'll relate to one day. He said, people won't understand what your boundaries are, but you need to know what they are.
Oh, that's good.
And he said, one day you'll wake up and someone's found out where you live, and they'll think it's funny to come into your house and be standing at the end of your bed for you to wake up and be like, good morning.
Oh, my God.
And you are going to have one of the most shocked moments of your life. They'll think it's funny, but it's really not okay. He said, if you really get clear on what your boundaries actually are, you won't allow them to be crossed, or you'll know how to respond when they are crossed, because you know what they are and defined them. And I remember, like, not long after he said that, there was people out the front of my house were like, we love you, Sassy Scott, blah, blah. And I went, it's coming to the doorstep. But I knew that I was like, hang on, the doorstep is where it finishes.
Luke, to you once joked to Scott about getting Taylor Swift Eras Tour tickets, and you only got one for yourself.
You know what I still get annoyed? I'm going to get mad here. Scott's a fake Swiftie. I'm just going to start.
I'm a fan, you're a Swiftie.
Turn his mic down.
Big Swiftie here, so
Anyway,
go on.
So I had told him previously to that, probably 2 weeks ago, that I had tickets.
No, you didn't.
But it was because she wasn't that, it hadn't been all in his feed yet of how popular she was going to be when she was in Australia, right? So he let that go. That just went over his head. Then during the podcast, it wasn't even meant to be a segment. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to Taylor Swift. And he just blew up. And I'm like, I'm just confused. I'm like, you knew I was going.
No,
like,
I did not.
You won't remember. But I went. I'd gone to concerts before. You had never been to a concert before. So this is all new, really. And then did you end up going? You could have got a ticket.
My sons were born.
Thank you.
In
So
Texas,
you would never have been able to go anyway.
So
And I rest my case. So all that
Did you
for nothing.
go, Luke?
I went and it was great.
Great.
I had a lot of fun.
And the wildest thing is, which I think's really cool, is based off
But
that.
everyone felt sorry for him.
No, but
And
it was like,
so
he didn't
annoying.
include
I
me.
did.
I've
When
gone out-
I did.
It's
I
so
really
typical
did.
of
I went out of my way to get a ticket. We don't do stuff together.
It's so
Go get your own
typical of Luke
ticket.
to not consider me or other people. That's how I see
Yeah,
it.
You
because
always say
you
you
were
don't want to do
considerate
stuff with me.
I don't, but like
Thank
you're
you.
buying tickets. Like I just would have thought he would have gone, hey, I'm getting tickets. Do you want one?
Yeah, because
I
you
would
would
have
do the
asked other
same.
people
people
next
before
to
him.
each other
Don't get on his side,
and hang
Matt
out
and Heen.
for
What
me
are
to go
you
and see
doing?
her, not to be with you. If you're buying them, ask me if I want a ticket. Anyway, the coolest thing out of it was her team saw it, reached out and said, can Scott come to the show?
Oh my gosh.
And Luke had to deal with that. that actually she wanted me at the show now, but then I still couldn't go because my sons were born in the States.
Oh my gosh.
She wanted me then, not you.
But I was there.
Luke, what's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
It was my number one Spotify Wrapped. My Tears Ricochet, but I can never sing it.
Folklore.
What's the song I always say I like and you're like,
It's not a Taylor Swift song. It's so annoying. You'll be like, I love that Taylor song. And I'm like, it's not a Taylor song. What is it? It's like
I don't
Vic
know.
Runger or something.
Oh, 90s.
Yeah. What are your favourite Taylor Swift songs?
My,
Go on.
well, All Too Well 10-minute version.
yes, of
Yes.
course. Oh, hang on, 10 minutes.
And she was recent-
that time.
Nah.
No, it needs to be the 10-minute version. And recently she was asked her top 5, like what's her
Yeah, I
favorite
saw this.
songs. And her number 1 is All Too Well 10-minute version. So
What album is it
I've
on, Scott?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Red.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Okay,
Me to
great.
come.
Yeah, correct.
Controversial question. How do you feel about AI in creative spaces and workflows?
Great.
No.
Love it.
Continue.
No, I think it's what I've used like ChatGPT for is maybe not coming or having someone else there to help someone else, but like getting an idea to be bigger and better. Like it's good that you still need to you get most out of AI by what you put into AI, but it will come to a point where, say, I like using it for a caption. Like, you put it in the start and you're like, reword it. But you don't want to also become too reliant on it, because that's where we started off just based on who we are. We didn't need that help. And sometimes mistakes are better. Like, I'd put spelling mistakes on purpose in captions back in the day because I knew that would add to engagement. It would piss so many people off that I've spelled a word wrong.
People wanting to correct you, you spelled it wrong.
So there's still the human, flair and error that can still be better than an AI. So you don't want to rely too much on it. And you can go to a million conferences and hear what everyone's doing. And you're like, do you want to be the same as everyone else? Do you want that point of difference? But I'm also getting pissed off with AI, with videos and believing something's real, and then go in the comments section and see someone else write, this is AI. I'm like, it's got me.
I love it. I'm like,
I feel like
those
Facebook
animal
mum back in the
videos, like
day.
saving someone. I've been tricked again.
See, I love it. And I love the naivety of it.
What do you love about it,
I used to think of boomers getting scammed, right? Like, I'd be like, how'd they give someone their money to get a visa or their passport? Like, how do you fall for that? And now I'm like getting scammed every day, like, Great White ate a boat. I'm like, what the did you see that? And then it's like, you go in the comments, it's like AI, and I was like, I was scammed. I believed that. And I'm a big believer with life. You get out what you put into it. And what I'm doing with AI, how I use it in my day-to-day is I can have a million spinning plates going at any one time, and that can keep up with me. I can put into it what I need to get out
for content,
to keep all of my wheels spinning. Now, the difference is Luke's head of content for our group, right? I'm business and admin, so I can have something reviewed really fast. I can have a schedule put together really quickly, right? Or to the way I like it. I'm asking it what I need from it, and it's giving me what I need. So that's where I think it's making me far more efficient. It's keeping up with me and my pace, because he can't, nor can the rest of the team. I mean, shout out to Gab, our manager. She works at my pace, but that's where I really embrace it. And I think it's going to help out.
Yeah. It's like it's an assistant. It's your
and don't worry, you
assistant.
can call it out. Sometimes I'm like, you forgot that we spoke about this yesterday. That's a reality, right? So I look at it as like just a colleague or a tool in the belt, part of the team.
That's helping you generate the most content you can. The machine.
Or to keep up with where the demand is. Yeah. It's really helping.
Yeah.
So sorry, Luke, but without it, you probably don't really have...
What do you think about AI and content?
I'm
totally against it. This interview's over. Get up, walk off.
I use it a little bit like you. Like, I use it a little bit as a tool rather than like having it as a full-fledged machine where it just like replaces. No, I will use it to help as a tool. At the moment, it's quite divided still. It's not the general yes, everyone's for AI. Everyone's still quite paranoid about it and unsure. It's uncertainty, so that makes people nervous.
We're really lucky in our role. We get insights and included and invited to tables that a lot of the time we're like, why are we here? And Meta is a really good partner of ours, right? And we were invited into a conference of theirs where we got to talk. But the takeaway of the entire conference was AI is moving so fast. We encourage you to start engaging with it and working with it before it gets too far away from you and you're left behind. And
kind of like video podcasts.
And
great segue.
He's so good, isn't he? I clocked that and I share that because I truly do believe that them saying that, it's moving fast, and you don't want it to be so far away from you that you are left behind. I'm a big believer in that, and that's what I think my philosophy with it is, because I didn't know how to use a computer when I was young. I just didn't. I was illiterate. And so now I've had to try and adopt things to catch back up. And that one I'm not going to be left behind with.
It's the same sort of philosophy as like older generations now, like our grandparents, they're like, oh, I don't know how to send an email. It's like, it's not hard.
Yeah, correct.
But it's because they didn't keep up with the technology as it was advancing. And they're like, oh, nope, too hard for me. And I'm just not going to bother. And then it got too far away and it just...
There it is.
Yeah. What's something about creating content that only makes sense once you're doing it?
It's a business, baby.
Yep.
It's planning, it's thinking, it's support, it's communication. It is more than just slapping a video together and an idea. The growth or the stability in it requires is needing you to show up like you show up in your current job. Now, I'm not comparing what Luke and I do now to, and somebody that works in a hospital as a nurse or something, right? I'm not weighing up what's harder, but I'm saying it requires you to show up, to be diligent, to be professional, to want to grow, to want to learn. The way you show up in your current job, this would require it as well. Mm-hmm. For longevity and or stability. Mm-hmm. That's what it needs.
Yep. Luke, would you agree?
Nah.
Well,
I was just trying to think what would be different. I think it's letting go of your vanity. I reckon that's a big one. I think like even that first time you post, like there's so many, you hear it all the time, like just post that video, but it's uploading a few videos and letting go of what you look like, how people are going to see you. And if you want to be in it, that you do need to post them. You need to be a little bit real and a bit feral.
Yeah.
For people to resonate with you.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's just going to, people will read it a mile away. So it's that and continuing to do it.
Yeah.
And then because you go through waves where you start watching other people's content, you're trying to change it, but you need to keep going back to what put you there.
Before, when you were both speaking about how the pranks kind of stopped and you evolved out of it, did you both sit down and think like, what do we need to do? Or was it just like, let's try this, let's try that, see what lands?
I was getting tired of it. Like there's still, I went back the other day to look because I made a list of all these videos of what I wanted to do. And I was like, God, that would be fun to still do. But it just doesn't have the same energy that I want to put into it because there'd be a lot of planning. And some of those videos I would put and I would be excited by it. I'd be a radiographer sitting at the MRI scanner going, oh, how can I get him tomorrow? And I'd be planning this whole prank. It came to a point where it felt like it was going to stick, like we could potentially be in this for a little bit. And I was not thinking strategically, or I was thinking strategically, doing these prank videos would have a lifetime. There's an expiry date and trying to get out before we were expired.
And to bolster that is team strategy meetings that do happen. Like I said, to anyone wanting to get into the industry, you got to run it like a business, right, at the end of the day. But where I think our part success is, Luke looks after creative, I'll look after business admin, right? And partnerships, whatever, making clients happy, trying to get new people on board and, call it financial goals. And what Luke looks after now with support with some people is our content pillars are based around trends, based around, nostalgia, lifestyle, whatever, right? So he's got his content pillars. I'm aware that they're content pillars. I'm just not aware of what the video is that we're going to be doing. And Luke, if sometimes he'll go, I just need you to trust me that we're going to do something today and it's a new game. And I'm like, all right. I do still go into it open, but not knowing the detail, right?
Because it'd be a lot of the time, say we'll do it'd be me putting the broom behind your back saying it's a posture check. It would be going into, I'm like, I'm about to do something, just don't make it hard for me.
Yeah.
Because that would be the opposite. I'm like, I don't want to do it. Just arm down. I'm like, you need to lean into it like something's going to come out of it. You don't know what it is.
Me.
That's all true. And he's still really good with the doing it at a time that it's like, what the are you doing? Like, it's a dinner time now. And he's like, I just need to put a broom behind your back to check your posture.
Like you're looking into it too much.
So it's like, that's where it's strategic, but also we're still smart enough to stay away from what we don't need to know.
Yeah, definitely. Has there ever been a time where you're like, no, hard line, I'm not doing it?
Yeah, lots.
Because
lots.
Yeah.
And
I'll come over to Scott's house to film like some game videos that we do. And then I'll just look at his face and like, today's not the day I'm going.
Not the day, Satan.
I was like,
today.
it's not worth it. I'm not going to sit through 20 minutes of editing a video where you're acting like this.
Yeah, correct. And there's some days energy is just way off. You know, I've said it before, like Luke will walk into my house and my dogs will be excited to see him and he doesn't acknowledge them. And I'm like, get the out. Get out of my house. You don't walk in here and not pat my dogs that are excited to see you. And he's like, we've got 10 videos to film. I'm like, not.
And I don't
Business.
now I don't wipe my legs because I've got piss and scratches all down them.
And then he says that to just try and annoy me even more.
If social media all disappeared tomorrow, what would you genuinely what would you genuinely miss, and what do you hope people would remember about you both?
Great question.
Oh my God.
It'd be nice to have a break from you. When TikTok was going down in America, I was looking at my future going, ooh.
Yeah, that's right.
Time away from Scott. So I've kind of thought about this, but
I
remember.
would miss connecting with people en masse. That's really, I've never taken it for granted. I just haven't. And to connect with people en masse on such large numbers is a specialty. I remember when a mate said to me one day, you know, people like Brad Pitt because he's hot and a good actor, or they like their footy player because he's good at footy and, you know, plays for their team. People kind of just like me. And this is, Luke will hate me saying it, but people like me. I mean, some people don't. But, you know, the people that do like me for just being me. It's odd to have the world hold up a mirror to you and you like what you see. And that's what I feel like it is. And I would probably miss that, but then I think I'd really be able to go, I was so lucky that I had it. Like it's not everyone's norm to have something like that happen to them. And yeah, I think I would be more like, yeah, I would miss connecting on the mass, but then I'd go, wow, how lucky that we got to.
I'd probably say that feeling, and more so earlier on, no, it still happens, but a video that's taking off, like really popping off, like what you'd call going viral.
Yeah.
And you just see how quick it's growing. I remember some of the biggest videos you would just constantly just refresh and it would be going up by like 15,000 views every time you did that. And it'd be wild. And that feeling, and it's such an odd feeling and not many people have it. It's such an
analytic
dopamine hit, like rush.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that's something, I don't know, that's probably why we're still in it. Like I strive to get those sort of videos still.
You know, people chase that and you guys have experienced that en masse.
Yeah, it's so stupid. People are like, what's your biggest video? I'm like, I don't know anymore, right? Like when I one day in a media kit, the management were tallied the views and it was over 1 billion views in less than 12 months. And that number hit different to 100,000 followers to 1 million followers and, you know, whatever. When it was 1 billion views in 12 months, it was like, and now we're over 2. But that was like, what the And that's why the old man in the fish and chip shop's like, it's Scott, right? Like it was like, that reach was unbelievable. I've had to reconcile that and go, it's not 2 billion people. Close though, but it's, you know, how many people have rewatched because of the joy factor or what they're getting out.
You can look at that watch hour. It's like, 10 years of like that video's been watched collectively.
Yes, yeah.
So what would you hope that people remember about you?
I was the younger, better looking brother.
Which is not what he gets. Everyone always thinks I'm younger.
No, I would like to think when it's all wrapped up and done that people can remember some probably good that we've brought to it rather than just, I don't know, a negative prank video. We try to do positive work. We're ambassadors to the Good Friday Appeal. We put a lot of time and effort and work into that. We were just at the hospital last week. That I feel like it could get to a point where we can start giving back to a lot more than what we're currently doing. Yeah. There's room for us to still do that.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's over for you guys anytime soon. No, I don't think it's ending anytime soon, guys.
Well, we were saying this just the other day. If one of us die, would you go solo?
Easy. Talk about the break solo. We're always looking for. There it is.
Good luck editing your videos.
I have thought about that. You know, that doom and gloom. I know that doom and gloom thought. Like, you know, our specialty is as a duo. We promised each other from the start we would never like veer off to do solo work. When we have, it's been an interview because somebody's wanted to understand more about a surrogacy process or being a gay dad. And we think...
And I'm not sitting through those surrogacy chats anymore. Oh my God. You made us do a 3-episode podcast special. And I saw it pop out on to-do, like, you got an interview coming up. I'm like, but do not put my name there.
Yeah. So they're like, that's I think the gold is that we've done this together. We have 2 other brothers. I'm always like, Luke's the last one I would have thought I would have done this with.
But he needed me.
And that's the bit of sweetness in it. And so I'm kind of I really do believe I'm lucky that I've been able to do some of the crazy in the world with my brother.
Yeah.
And I've had some people say, don't ever take that for granted. You're not doing it alone and you're getting to do it with your brother. Like, that's special. And times of overwhelm or times of like, what the hell is going on?
Who gets the accounts if it breaks up?
The only other person, it's in the contract, you should read it. The only other person that really understands what I'm going through is your brother, which is pretty safe.
That is so special. It's really special.
Just don't put too much emphasis on that. It makes it weird for us.
It's okay.
If someone was to try and recreate your type of content, what is something that they would never get right?
Good luck. What would they never get right? Can you think of anything, Scott?
Well, you know who gets it right are all of like the fake spam accounts. Like the amount of people that are like,
repurpose our content.
Oh, yeah.
they get it right.
You're like, they're getting paid. They're posting from America TikTok. They're getting paid for our videos right now. The strategy in posting, first starting up, there was knowing your time where you can pivot your content. So a lot of the time we knew no one was going to know our names, that we would just be remembered for a long period of time. And I remember at the time going, it'll be 9 months of prank videos where they're just going, they're the brothers that fight. They're the brothers that fight. And I was like, when does it change? And I remember in the comments, it started to be more Luke and Scott, like, Luke, where's, like, Scott? And I was like, they're up to the name stage now. Mm-hmm. So then the content could start to change. There was more, our personal lives could now start to come into it a little bit. But it was finding those moments that I feel worked well for the content and our branding that I think people would rush into it for the wrong reasons. Because I think we could have easily started to go into that earlier, but all the content and the algorithm would have just hated that. So I think picking the right time to listen to the audience, but also we went into it not wanting this career. So we didn't rush it.
That's probably why it's worked.
Yeah, we had full-time jobs that were backing it at the start. We weren't relying on money to come through.
We say a lot of the time, like, I feel sorry for people that come into this industry in their 20s, even early 30s. If you're under 20, forget about it, right? Like, if you're under 30, forget about it.
If you're under 16, you can't.
We had professional careers, lives, and experience that kind of all amassed to us to be able to do this and take it for what it was, be comfortable being ourselves. Like, I'm 40. I turned 40 2 weeks ago and I still don't. Do I really know who I truly am? Am I truly 100% myself? I don't think so yet, right? So I think, but we have the recipe of enough behind us that we can translate to be ourselves, and people go, there's something in that is rare to see, us translating of being just authentic ourselves. And I don't think there's many people out there that can truly be themselves yet because they're just not there yet in their life, but they're trying to force it into content.
But then there'll be other people as well that I touched on it earlier, that engagement, like bad comments coming through. Some people would really stick on that. I've got other people in the industry that they can really get caught up, and they need to have breaks purely based on the comment section, which we've never had to go. We've never been.
Couple of times we've been aware that we're going to have an onslaught because it's usually an opinion, right? Like, we know we're going to attract tens of thousands of comments of absolute hate and threats.
And you can have a bit of a PR head, but every now and then you make mistakes and it's how you come back from them. But in everyday videos, some people can get hate and they just dwell on that one of the 1,000 comments. That one comment can just ruin them. So that would be another one, back to your question, that knowing what your content can get out of people, it's not always positive.
Do you respond to the comments?
Yep.
Yeah, I need. And with a question most of the time too, because it adds an extra comment back.
It's all about the engagement.
Yeah. How long have you kept it going before? And then you're like, no, I'm tapping out.
I have people block me in the end.
No, you know what I do? What's a better one? If I get a really hateful comment, I'll pin it to the top. So I won't comment back, but I'll know everyone else will see it now, and then it will blow up.
Beat them to the walls.
So I've done that a few times, and I'll put it there for like, I don't know, 2 hours, get enough comments, unpin it. So now it's still
like, oh, they're not going to be able to realize, they're not going to be able to take the heat. We'll take it off them now.
Yeah, it's not what I meant.
Yeah, but I want to be really clear. 99% of our audience is so supportive and kind and lovely to us. It's unique, I find, to go into our comment section to find negative hate unless it's targeted at, at people and their opinions and values. And so we're kind of really abnormal and lucky there, and it's exhausting watching other people in the industry having to just stand up for themselves and fight to be who they are and have so much negativity in their everyday life on their phone. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, definitely. Oof. Guys, what podcasts are you loving at the moment?
Oh, are we podcast listeners, Scott?
I'm going to be brutally honest, and this is what always fascinates the creator industries or whatever, and also podcast. I am not really a fan. I don't absorb podcasts. I don't listen to them. I just don't have the time. Or desire. And secondly, creators, I've never been one to follow a creator really, even religiously. It's why I think I appreciate that people do it for us. There's no one out there that I wildly, follow and am inspired by. And in that, I think what helps is comparison. I've never been caught up in comparing what we do and who we are to others. There's definite people in industry that I respect and I appreciate, Tony and Ryan, Inspired Unemployed. Like if we're talking about Aussies, like, we understand that they are where they are because they've worked really, really well and tirelessly and strategically. I appreciate people like that, but I don't follow anybody or listen to anybody.
Mm-hmm. And Luke, you're the same?
I'd be in the same boat. So it'd be more appreciating a lot of...
Appreciating? You just did mum.
Oh, no, I'm turning to my mother.
Does that too.
Appreciate.
Appreciate.
Kath and Kim.
No, like clips online. So like Tony and Ryan, I love seeing a lot of other Australian podcasters really pop off on socials.
So video podcasts, like with the social clips.
Correct. Yeah. And I like seeing them do well because then it's a new pillar that you can rely on your podcast to make content out of.
Yeah.
So that's what I love, and I've always loved about our podcast, that those videos also can do well, and you can potentially make 3 or more or 4 clips out of one 30-minute episode, and knowing that they can still do well, that excites me. So seeing others do well in that area makes us want to do even better. But probably the only podcast I've listened to is when we're being guests for a podcast. I've got to do a bit of research before going on and seeing what we even have to do. Have you listened to podcasts at all? Like I remember when we're doing some work with Snapchat. Is it the Secret Diary of a CEO?
Oh, Diary of a CEO.
I listened to that one about Snapchat. That was cool.
Nah.
Video podcast.
We blew up once online because we were being spoken about on the Joe Rogan podcast. So that was pretty big at the time, but still didn't listen to it.
Nope.
Were they speaking about you in a good way?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And like, Bert Kreischer, I'm not sure if you're aware, big comedian over in the States, and he's another person that took us under his wing, and he's mates with Joe Rogan, which is so weird that we're, one removed. And anyway, he went on that podcast. And our phones, you want to talk about like when we've gone viral, when Joe Rogan talks about you, it's a different way your phone blows up.
Wow.
Like, very different.
Yes, the 10% of guys that follow us were actually messaging.
Yes. Yeah, we're 90% female audience. So the 10% were like, you guys are like the real deal. Yeah,
I loved it from the start.
And,
OG fan.
And that was really cool. He was kind. We spoke about, gay people, and, it was not done in a poor taste. And, they kind of said pretty much the be all and end of all of it was like, we stereotyped gay men, and then this guy Sassy Scott comes along and we're like, really like who he is, and we think he'd probably take us down, we like what he stands for and how he holds his own. So I found that really positive and good for us.
So you guys have a massive footprint, not just in Australia, but also in the States, and you work both here and over there and with people all over. What are the differences between the two? What have you noticed in the different sort of industries across podcast and content creation?
We are gaslit here in Australia by industry, and in America we're accepted.
We walk into, say, meetings here where we're educating the people opposite us of what we can give to the industry and how we can fit, whereas when we're in those same meetings in America, it's very much we're being educated on what we can do in the industry. It's very different.
They're far more open to idea and support. We walk away all the time from America going, oh my God. Like, we were just with the vice president of that organization, and they're like, I like what you're talking about. You're in. Let's make it happen. Like, we're speaking a very similar language. Mm-hmm. Whereas in Australia, and I was kind of touching on it before, like this audio first mentality, America's like, what the hell do you mean audio first? Like, it's
you're just on radio?
And we've been told before, you're a little fish in a big pond here. When it came to podcasting, when it came to some content, when it came to brands, when it came to red carpets and being interviewed, we've been really belittled by some people.
But we can also sound negative in that America is a lot bigger with entertainment. There's so many networks that so many probably have made mistakes that they can learn from their mistakes, whereas Australia can be quite small still in that entertainment side of things that risk is a lot riskier.
Mm-hmm. And one part of it is like we're going to an award ceremony tomorrow and there's a couple of names on that list, right? And Luke and I were just talking about one of the names on the flight on the way up. And we had this for so long, we were bowing down and just smiling, right? Which people probably don't expect, but we were like overwhelmed with Australian people that were iconic that we grew up with. And some of them weren't accepting of us because we didn't come through the traditional entertainment ways, whereas America's very open for that, right? So Australia, we say we're the backdoor bandits. Like, that it doesn't let us in the front door, we kick down the back door if we want to get into the room, right? And it's worked for us. But there's some people that were like, we don't have to still be belittled by them anymore, right? At what point are we allowed to go, shut up?
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't want to hear it anymore from you.
Yeah.
Don't need you to say that to us on national breakfast television. Don't need you to be a smart ass. We were once told by somebody, oh, so you're just doing the same thing as everybody else does. You're starting a podcast. And that was on breakfast television. And we were just like, and we were brought on there to promote our podcast. and we were just like so backhanded. And we're like, what the hell? And then we get invited to be on the biggest podcasts in America or the world as co-host guests. We just did Jake Johnson's recently, and he's like, you guys are the best people to have on a podcast. I've loved this, my favorite episode. And you're just like, so why is it back home we are looked at as we have to still be apologetic and thankful for being there?
But even making that decision for us to go video for the podcast, we're in meetings in America. We're with a new agency over there, and even with Sony Entertainment, and we're like, oh, we want to just do video podcasts now. They're like, yeah, why wouldn't you? We're now pitching them to platforms. So from streaming platforms are now interested in picking up podcasts. Well, you just said Jake Johnson. Today he just got some with Hulu.
And when we were there in October, they already started the conversation with us, and it was like, they're like, oh, why haven't we sold you guys? Like, can we call Netflix Australia to purchase your show now? And we were like, oh my God, like,
we didn't know
this is how quick they move. And they're like, no, that's the strategy here in America at the moment. So why don't we, you guys as Aussies and you're filming yours, why don't we just start that conversation in Australia now? And we're just like, oh my God, you guys are incredible, right? Like, but yet we were told you're small fish in a big pond and it's audio only.
So there's a vast difference. Could you elaborate more on the Netflix side of it?
Well, what we're being told by America is, the digital content is first and foremost, and digital content creators are now being looked at because they're tried and tested of immediate engagement, whereas the old school way of radio, television was based on numbers, of listeners, of people that did a survey. Digital creators are tried and tested with effective, immediate engagement and feedback. So, having years now of over 2 billion views, and I'll use us as an example. Luke will hate it, but over 2 billion views, millions of comments and engagement with us, we're proven to now go to another platform that's bigger because like there's no question or doubt in whether or not we can engage an audience or that like it's proven, right?
Exactly.
But that's for most of us. But we're hearing from America, we are going with digital creators and taking their content and figuring out now how to put it on.
When you think of the
networks.
streaming service,
Like Netflix
though,
and streamers.
it's how cost effective it is to put a podcast on there. So, to stream that. How to put
Instead
this
of spending
together
tens of
rather than
billions on a TV show. Yeah.
Like
So much cheaper to make a
the
podcast.
vertical being integrated into Netflix, right? Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, so you'd be able to.
And then even we're
watch it
seeing that on
multiple
like
ways.
Spotify as well, becoming a feed of clips and reels. Like, so watch this space. A lot of it is going to be how you consume it visually.
What is coming up for Luke and Sassy Scott next?
Netflix is going to buy our show. Woo! No, they're not.
That's not happening.
We are doing really cool, cool stuff. We have like 4 TV development deals that are happening,
That's exciting.
which is really cool.
Wow.
And it's like, it's so crazy. One of them is we have a fortnightly call with everyone in America, it feels like. And they're like, what are we doing now? I'm looking at like, see Nigeria. They're like, great. And we're just like, we're writing a TV
I feel like
show?
it could be the show, those meetings. They could just clip them
Yes.
of gaslighting 2 Australians and thinking they're getting a show.
They're going to get a show. Yeah. We want to look at how we can make our podcast better and still help grow that,
Yeah, looking at the quality of these microphones, we may need to get some of these.
Good call.
Yeah.
We have our own, should we say? Yeah.
I never know what's going to come out of your mouth, so I'm sweating.
I love it. We came up with a really genius concept that we're going to start doing as a cooking show ourselves.
Love that.
And
We want
we're
a
going to
cooking
start.
series. We can't cook.
Well, it's perfect. It's
Done.
perfect.
We're going to start our
Entertainment.
own long form content and start feeding that into the YouTube and then possibly other streamers.
Yes, please.
But again, blows my mind because people only took us as the guys that, for 1 minute of their day. They would watch a video, but now they're wanting to see longer form content. So
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We have had so much fun with you. It's been amazing.
do you have to say that to every guest though?
Yes.
Yes.
But
I mean it.
We are being serious. It's actually been a lot of fun.
Well, I'm really appreciative of your time. Our EP of our podcast
Podcast.
spoke so highly of your organisation, product. We have some of it, but also your team. And he said, you're getting on that plane, you are going to do that interview. They're such good people and we trust him so much. And I think just being in this room, we have shared more than we've ever shared with anyone before. And that comes from, I think, we can feel a mutual respect and, you're an industry, and part of an industry that we respect as well. So hopefully we can keep earning our stripes.
And like we always say as well, everyone can grow together. The industry is
Yes.
big enough for everyone.
Yeah.
Correct. There's
Yes.
so much work out there. Me and ChatGPT can't keep up with it. So you can take some.
Luke, Scott, thank you so much. We are just so thrilled that we've had you here today, and thank you.
Thanks for
We'll
coming.
come back.
They won't have us back.
We will. Oh my God,
It's a one-off.
we are getting you back. We are getting you
Thank
back.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.